Let's move on to Kevin, who's the Chief Investment Officer of Brown Shipley on savings.
Hi there. It's now effectively 6 years since the Bank of England declared war on savers. In the 6 years, you've had roughly a fifth of your capital eroded in real terms if you left your money in a UK bank account. Interest rates are simply too low, and the measures you've mentioned, the Help to Buy scheme, the annuity reforms, pension reforms, etc., they're playing around the edges. When are we going to get interest rates back to where they need to be? And when will people get some sort of democratic process to influence what the Bank of England is doing?
Well, I'm not sure I can help you on the last bit. For this simple reason, I actually believe in an independent Bank of England, because I think these decisions on interest rates are better taken by people who aren't the politicians and would be changing the interest rates to try and win votes, for example, in an election. So I think it is better to have an independent Bank of England. Now, they have judged that because of what happened to our economy, you've had to have interest rates very, very low. And that's supported a lot of the businesses here and the people who want to buy the homes, people with mortgages and the like. But of course, the people who've been hit, the people who paid an unfair price, if you like, are the savers. And so I think instead of raising interest rates just to help the savers, it's better to have a set of policies that help the savers directly and don't harm other people. And so things like the pensioner bond we've had for older people with savings, that's been hugely popular, and we've sold £10 billion worth of that. The pension reform, which you mentioned, the thing I've just announced in the budget last week to say you don't have to pay tax on your income from savings, the Help to Buy ISA, the more generous ISAs. I mean, there's a whole set of things to say to people who have worked hard and saved up all their lives, you deserve a better deal, you get access to your money, you get a better return on your money, we're cutting the taxes on you, because we understand that very low interest rates, while necessary to support the economy, have hit you, and you need additional help.
Kevin, you want him to set the interest rates?
Not necessarily. I agree with the independence of the bank, but you've sort of emphasised my point, which is the longer interest rates are kept at this rate, the more and more measures you will have to enact in order to address the balance. The Bank of England have had to introduce macroprudential policy. You're having to introduce actions for savers. The longer this goes on, the bigger and bigger the consequences are, until we get to a point where the Bank of England's independence will frankly be put at risk.
You need to have the Governor of the Bank of England come and answer directly the question on interest rates, because we do... Well, I did appoint him. And by the way, I think the fact we got one of the very best people in the world, in Mark Carney, to come and do that job says a lot about our open economy and the fact we can attract people like him to jobs like that. He makes the decision on interest rates. But what I'd say to you is, I don't think increasing interest rates just to help savers would help the rest of the economy. And after all, savers are invested in the rest of the economy. They've got in their pensions, they'll have shares in some of the companies that are represented here. And the fact that interest rates are so low, I think, is a very important reminder for everyone of this. Although our economy is recovering, and although actually we grew faster than almost any other country, major country in the world last year, and although we've got a lot of people in work now, it's still a very difficult economic situation out there. That's why interest rates are so much lower than they've been in other times in our nation's recent history. So let's not think the problems are over. For 1 second do I think the problems in the British economy are fixed. I think there's lots more work to do. The job isn't finished. And while the interest rates stay so low, we should be helping savers. The big centrepiece thing in my budget last week was a big tax cut for savers, taking 95% of people out of savings tax, precisely to help people who are doing the right thing, working hard, putting away something for a rainy day. We should be helping them be on their side.